Here's the St. John, bump the 23 of Van Meter in the intersection. He spins and collides with Teddy Sparks' car. St. John gets back underway, but Van Meter is pulled away to a quarter-second advantage. 2-1-0. Here's the checkered flag for Eddie Van Meter, Florida's 1-hour figure-8 champion, the escape artist of the year. Inside and missed the second turn of marker tire. Garrick has had the lead for one turn and then cut inside the marker tire as Danny Turner spins and puts 4 cars into the wall, including Mike St. John. Watch out, Blakely in a big spin, hits the wall here on the main stretch after getting nailed by somebody. Coming through the intersection, Blakely tears up the car for the second time in 3 nights a week. Come to our first red flag of the season. Sizemore trade paint coming out of turn number 2. Sutton tries to get around his brother-in-law, and they almost run into the back. No! Sutton got wrecked by Kenny Sizemore in turn number 3. The family took each other out. I don't believe it. And now they're shoving each other around the racetrack, and they get disengaged just as Van Meter puts them a lap down. And they're still racing for position after they wrecked each other off the lead lap. The Sizemores are back in town. 3. He'll pull down to the infield and get restarted. At the tail end of the lead lap is the leader's been taken out in a 3-car crash over in turn number 3. The number 55 of Robert Smith tried to overlap the number 37 of Birchfield. Birchfield took him out, and that also wrecked the second place number 67 of Higgins. Qualifying spot as we tiptoe around the tire. Butler tries to move back around Edwards, looks for traction, doesn't find much, hits Edwards, knocks it out of the way, Edwards wrecks the number 62 car and keeps on going even though he almost tore off the hood. And the hood goes flying, and that'll be a black flag. It could be a black flag for Edwards. We'll have to double check and find out how that works out. Of Brackley, the number 19 of Sutton. 4-try, watch out, trouble! Over in turn number 2 is the number 67 of Dameron gets together with Morris's number 26. Looks as if Dameron can't move. And does so. Burkhead's having a rough time out there, and he goes 1 lap down. Johnson to second place, the number 93. 2 cars have wrecked each other here on the main stretch. The number 53 of Owens and the number 75 of Sanders. Those drivers have stalled. Here come the leader. He's been trying the captured car high and low. They'll have to watch out for Smith at the number 34. He's the last driver on the lead lap. Rossi trying to get down to the inside of Captured, trying to force his way through. Captured would not let the move go. He tries him on the outside. He's going to try to use the number 51 of Norman as the moving pick as they come to the white flag. But no, there's Norman moving high, and Captured comes down to the inside. Now Dulcie has one chance. He'll try it on the outside going into turn number 3. He'll run wheel to wheel with Captured out of the 4th turn. He'll come to the line. Too close to call. Too close to call. Too close to call. Goes the number 27 of Neal as 3 cars crash at the intersection. The leader is crashed out as number 6 of Bilbrey collides with the number 26 of David Morris. They're out of the way. We'll continue to race with the new leader being the number 44 of Bussey. Second place is the number 27 of Deal. Amos and Dulcie, he almost laps Rackley and St. John as Van Meter demolishes the field with a figure-8 victory. Here comes the number 4 of Fenwick across the stripe, 5.6 seconds back in second place. 2 as we see Fryman in 83 almost loop the car. Now we've got 2 guys getting together on the backstretch, dragging each other into the infield. One of them is the number 80 of Kuhnauer, and the other one is the number 81 of Spurgeon. 17 of Schrum spinning. Now Fryman almost stuffs Coop into the infield. Coop keeps on going as he runs over the marker tire. And now look at Coop down to the inside, passing the 83 car, but getting put into the wall. Here's the 3rd place car going to the 53 of Owens. 4th place to Kirby, who gets the position of the last second as Coop with a flat tire after crashing on the last lap. just a little bit of assistance over in turn number 1. Look at these guys nailing each other hard, going into turn number 1. Now Bobby Douthit turns the number 87 of Danny Turner around, spins him out, and takes the lead. Old Time Racing is back in town as Bobby Douthit forces his way to the lead. 2 laps left to go. Orman in third place almost loses control out of turn number 4. And now he gets hit and nailed by the number 34 car of Smith. Smith gets restarted. Trouble as the 66 of Ryder tried to jam to the inside of Jimmy Foster and almost took out both of the leaders as the white flag flies. This could be a wild closing lap. Jimmy Foster up in front as we see the number 17 of Lane spin. He's right in the middle of the racetrack. Here come the leaders as Ryder makes it 3 wide. Oh no, the red flag comes out. It's 4 abreast as the cars are completely out of control. And they just barely get out of the way as it's a 4-car crash after the red flag comes out. And the number 66 of Ryder got hit hard by the 71 of Frost after the red flag came out. We put out the red flag to try to save George Lane, and it didn't make one bit of difference to everybody else on the racetrack. They commenced and continued to wreck each other right and left, even though we put out the red flag a half lap before they got to the start-finish line and destroyed each other. That's Speedrome Racing. 20 going for the lead. Scott Stevens, the number 21 car goes up in a cloud of smoke. He's out of it, and a big crash over in turn number 3 as the number 25 car gets into the 20. Wally Shearer and the number 20 machine of Stevens go up in a big cloud of smoke. Only a few laps left in this race, however, as Graham in 84 tries the top side of the track, and Collins in 96 puts on the throttle and fights back. No, there's Graham to the outside as Smith spins out, and there's Graham coming to the lead as Robert Smith spins and takes out several cars as well. Both of the Smiths at the front of the field spin through turn number 3 and 4. Art Smith gets restarted. Bob Smith has a flat tire.
Winner. After our red flag stopped, he had 2 guys chasing him. He had to get his foot in it to win this one. Brian, here you go, your first feature trophy of the season.
2-3 national champions, a Speedrome track champion being put down and put away by Kenny Rackley. What's going on here tonight? No, Rackley got taken out by Fred Bear. Rackley got wrecked by Fred Bear. Rackley got wrecked by Fred Bear out of second place. That puts the number 4 of Reed in second, third place to the number 1 of Dalton. Of credit for coming to the racetrack late and for thoroughly dominating and taking away the race until his car broke. Ladies and gentlemen, I think Danny Turner deserves a big hand. Drivers that have made this such an overwhelming opening night at the Indianapolis Speedrome, the first Saturday night show of 1996. And don't forget, for all of the drivers that were disappointed, for all of those that did not have the outcome they wanted, taking aim at Johnson as Johnson wants the low side move going into Burkhead, hits Burkhead going into turn number 3. A little smoke comes up as the white flag comes out, and Burkhead drifts high out of the 4th turn. Johnson gets into Burkhead just a tiny bit going into turns number 1 and 2, the last lap of the race. And there is Burkhead in position number 3. There's Owens moving on Burkhead, helps him out of the groove through turns number 3 and 4, and gets the last qualifying spot to the main event. Goes down, gets center punched by the 29 of Keller, and manages to get going again. Now we're going to get weird because there goes the number 57 of Amos spinning out of the lead, and the new leader is going to be Keller in 29, ducking to the inside of Monroe. He begins for his last qualifying spot to the main event. Knotts got it in 88 and got tapped by the number 56 of Buckley, who in turn slows down right in front of the 13 of DeVault. They got hooked together, and then he rams Collins into the infield in a wild spin. Collins has got to wonder what he did wrong. Now he exasperates things by cutting inside the first turn marker tire. And the old man's got the lead. And Barry got hit and turned around by Bilbrey's number 6. No caution, will race. It's the old man versus the kid as they go into the first turn of the last lap of the race. Only one goes to the main event. Whitaker aims at the old man. He nailed him coming out of turn number 2. The old man held him off. Now Whitaker goes to the outside. The old man tries to stuff him. As they come to the line, the old man beat the kid by 1 length. Third place goes to Pride. Fourth place goes to the number 22 of Carlton. And then you've got the number 33 of Doug. Brooks pulls away. Now neat to the inside of Keller's number 29. Keller is going backwards as they'll stack it up 3 wide. And there they goes. The number 14 car is put into the wall. The number 14 of Hacker put into the first turn. Concrete. Green. And here we go as the number 52 of Brooks is trying to get around Hargraves. He tries to persuade Hargraves to get out of the way with his bumper. He goes for a spin. Botts takes the lead. And in second place is Whiteman in the number 30. As we're still trying to convince. Oh no, Hargraves got spun by Whiteman. Hargraves got spun out. And now there's Neat going for a spin. He might be high centered on the first turn marker tire. Just as crazy, we'll find out as Botts leads them off the track, and Johnson gets stuffed into the infield in the number 93 car. The points leader is gone. Now it's Whiteman that got spun out. He's out of it. There goes the number 88 car in a 3-car spin, and now Whiteman in a free-for-all goes to the inside, nailing cars right and left before he realizes he's out of it and drops out of the race. And now, oh no, Botts got stuffed into the wall here in the main stretch. There was Owens that got stuffed in the wall by Brooks, and Brooks' car keeps on going. It looks as if Owens is going to grind to a stop. Stalled coming out of the second turn. Can everybody get around Derek Decker? He managed to survive that time. Oh, he got hit by the number 77 of Jeffridge, who pulled right in front of the field. Derek Decker's car has been all torn up, and we have to go to red. Tunney, the intersection, has to watch out for the number 44 of Bussey, and keeps on going as the number 93 of Fegley hit the stops number 34 of Smith at the intersection. Everybody keeps on going as Fegley tries to get out of the way. So will Smith. Will stay under a standing yellow for the time being, and will go up to full green as I think Smith's car is far enough out of the way. That was too close. 43 laps completed this time by Amos, and Turner continue to get it on. There's Turner's move to the inside. He rammed the number 3 of Sizemore and forced the Amos car high and took the lead. Amos gets restarted, having lost several positions, and the number 66 of Reiner is stalled at the turn 1 area. But the number 5 of Amos hit the number 94 Bear, and Bear got forced into the wall by the number 27 of Deal as we're running under yellow and the laps are running out. As you see Amos down there talking with Turner about the way that turned out, that was just racing. There may be a little frustration there one way or the other, but there is no doubt in your announcer's mind that what happened out there was just old-fashioned racing. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. There will be any number of frustrations, the world of auto racing, because of the way certain things work out. And Amos is definitely unhappy. But if he is unhappy, it's because he is a serious racer. He's a guy that takes it to the limit and beyond. Home free, because here are John Botts in number 34 and the number 53 of Owens, and trying to go to the inside. Owens out of control, spins his car out of contention. As we go to lap number 9, Botts tries the outside of Shears for the last qualifying spot. Shears tries to fight back on the inside. They touch out of the 4th turn. They ran into each other big time. They're still nailing each other in turns number 1 and 2, and Botts goes to the outside of Shears to take the position. Into the first and second turns of the last lap. Perry on the outside of Bolton looking for the lead. Bullenkamp to the inside, wants to make something go. Perry outside of Bolton through 3 and 4. They touch out of the 4th turn, and it will be Bolton beating Perry by a half length with Bullenkamp in 3rd. Those 3 drivers get to the main event. Now it's Mosier up into first place as Disbrow gets slammed out of the way by the number 39, and there's the 39 car of Boyer to second spot. Collins to third place, and Neat got smashed by the number 62 car, driven by Darrell Reardon in turn number 3. Dinsborough spins it the fourth turn, still racing for position with these guys that all wrecked each other a couple of seconds ago. He's out of control in turn number 3. Watch out for the wall, and he came together with a 21, and both cars somehow kept on going as the 21 car of Conley gets rammed into the infield. To the main event, here's Kirby in 58 and the 84 of Graham to make it a new fight for the last qualifying spot to the main event as McDonough drops out in the number 23. Cross flags halfway through the race. Oh, look at that! Schramm put the coupe car into the wall! And that'll take care of those guys for the night. We'll go to red as Schramm in 17 and coupe in number 36 ended up smashing viciously into the wall over in turn number 4. Both cars are torn up. The drivers appear to be okay. The wall just says, yum, yum, give me more. Wreck each other. The number 71 of Faust almost got hit by Ford's number 11. And now Ford gets hit and spun out by Bilberry, who ran into Fegley and spun him and trapped the number 18 of Garrigus, who hit the wall. Ford car chain reaction crash in turn number 3. Everybody goes except Fegley's number 93, which is sideways in the middle of the exit of turn number 2. And even for first place, no, the George Lane number 17 slipped and falls to third. Lewis leads. Rigdon got hit by Lane and spun in front of the entire field. And somehow everybody got above him. Leader of the first lap will be Lewis. 43 of Nicely runs second, almost putting the number 53 of Owens into the wall as we come down to finish the first lap. And Shearer spun and going into the third turn, stacking up 5 cars. The 53 of Owens hit him. Then the number 13 of Duvall smashed into him. Then the number 52 of Brooks of the 35 car. Everybody gets restarted. Fourth place now to the number 88 of Knott as we come to finish lap number 1. Art Smith looks to the outside, too far outside. Knott got hit and spun by Schramm, who drives him deep into the infield. Back. He's gone. Along with the number 21 of Dalton. There's the number 29 of Sloan, working the number 41 of Foster and hitting the wall. I don't believe it. The second and third place cars wrecked in turn number 1 and 2 as Sloan got into Foster and turned him around. And now it looks like the Sloan car, having hit the wall hard over the north side of the racetrack, may not be able to move. No, it's Dwayne Lee's got first place. No, it's Bear that charges him hard. He's got the lead by nose going into the second turn, and he clipped the marker tire, and Dwayne Lee with a low side move going into the third turn's got first place. They trade paint in turns number 3 and 4. And as they come out of that fourth corner and they storm to the intersection, it's Lee and Bear that continue to run hard first and second. Third place goes to the number 33 of Doug Gregg. And now to fourth place is Bill Tunney Jr. In the number 7 is the number 56 of Pride. Spun his car just short of the intersection, gets out of the way. Bear moves side by side to challenge Dwayne Lee as they charge through the intersection. And it was Lee that led that lap by maybe a half length as the number 93 of Begley almost got hit in the intersection. And the 19 of Sutton spun and dropped some distance back. Fight for first place on lap number 38 as they catch up to the number 56 car. The number 7 of Tunney gets spun in contact with the 87 of Turner, trapping 2 cars over in turn number 3. More than challenges, the white flag comes out. Dawsey dead even with Bear in turn number 1 and 2 with Dwayne Lee there coming out of the second corner. Now they got one chance to make the move. Bear is right behind the 56 of Nelson. Dawsey slipped high. Dwayne Lee cuts to the inside and gets second place. Dawsey with one last shot to do it. Fred Bear wins the race by a length over Dwayne Lee with Dawsey in third and the number 87 of Danny Turner in fourth.
Out now. A well-deserved trophy and one of the toughest wins in this guy's life.
Running with Dwayne Lee for probably the majority of the whole race, and me and him was just going back and forth. Didn't touch, we ran a clean race, and I tell you, this team is awesome.
Contention. Leader is Burkhead now, the number 99, as we come into turns number 1 and 2 of lap number 4. And crashing hard is the number 96 of Collins. Collins hit the wall hard coming through turn number 1 and 2. He brings the machine into the infield. From Burkhead as we go to the first turn of lap number 4. Burkhead stays with him, but now there's Johnson almost pushing Burkhead out of the way. They collide and get into Botts, and Botts slides and spins on the backstretch, almost trapping the rest of the field as Burkhead hits the infield barrier. He's out of it. Johnson just ahead of 65 Shears, who in turn is just ahead of the number 34 of Perry. And Johnson hit the wall, and he's going to crash out the number 88 of Hatfield and sends Hatfield into a spin. And somehow Johnson keeps on going in second place as he's going to try to keep on rolling.
Path by Johnson for the last qualifying spot, and Johnson wants to go to the inside of Reel for second place. Jams it down, knocks Reel out of the way. Reel recovers. He hit the wall at turn number 4, and the last qualifying spot goes to Schaefer as Neat bounced off the wall and got a piece of the number 53 of Brooks. Gets close to the wall. I hope he doesn't crash again. He got luck. Oh no, collision between the number 89 of Edwards and the 65 of Shears, and now Edwards turns the number 37 sideways and runs into Shearer for the first time this year. Shearer survives the collision without having to be towed off the track. The number 30, oh no, now there's more trouble as the 83 of Fryman helped to do a spin in turn number 3 and 4, and we're still underway with the race somehow. Is the numbers 28 of Disbro around Kuchnauer's number 80. Kuchnauer fights back as 3 cars crash on the backstretch. The number 69 of Bolton got into the number 23 of McDonough, and that will bring out a red flag. Third car involved in that melee appeared to be Graham's number 83, and so will come down to red. The number 69 of Guy Bolton and the number 23 of Kenny McDonough collided on the backstretch of what would have been the first lap of the race, sending the number 23 of McDonough into the backstretch concrete. He's torn up the front end of that car, and we'll have ourselves a complete restart from the red flag. A move on Taylor for the last qualifying spot to the main event on the last lap of the race. Graham's up alongside Taylor on the backstretch of the white flag lap, trying for the last qualifying spot. And Taylor takes Graham high. They collide in 3. They collide in 4. They crash each other, and Taylor put Graham into the wall as they finish the race. And now Graham puts Taylor out of the way, spun him out after the race was over, and let's see how Taylor's going to react. He'll just burn some rubber and drive off the track, I would hope. Or see, oh no, look at them. They're playing Ring Around the Rosie on the racetrack as Graham is trying to run away from Taylor. Oh, not again. 69 of Guy Bolton wins the race. 75 of Sanders finishes second. Taylor at 75 finishes in third. It's going to be one of those nights of the Speedrome, folks. The number 21 of Conley as we actually finish lap number 1. Now Schrumm, number 17, trying to close up, hit the marker tire, almost flipped his car as on the backstretch, the 29 of Keller hits the wall and is passed on the inside by Fullenkamp. Typical lap number 2. Number 89. And third place is now Hacker at number 14. Fourth place is Robert Smith in number 55. Edwards nails Buckler, but Buckler rebounds like a rubber ball and holds on to the lead. Edwards to second place, and third place to Smith, who ran into George and spun him out for the third or fourth or fifth time. And George still has not circled the marker. He's still having all such a horrible night. Second place is Buckler. He got hit again by Edwards, and for the second time it straightens him out and helps him circle the tire. I don't believe that. 6. Here comes Edwards again, trying to make it work. He runs wide and finally gets the lead, or does he? Now there's the Buckler car nailing Edwards, but Edwards somehow comes away with the lead. And Buckler didn't like the way that lead. All but in last place. Now Burkhead is nailing the back end of the number 28 car of Disbro, looks to the inside of turn number 3, helps Disbro out of the way, and works into second place. To third place now is not in the number 88 as we tell Burkhead, that's naughty, don't do that, and immediately overruns the tire. 57 of Amos. Sanders in 75 has been, watch out, in the middle of the pack. There's the number 12 of Schaefer running over the 65 of Shears, and Shears says, not to me, you aren't. And there's the number 12 of Schaefer spinning into the infield, followed quickly by Turner in the number 64. They get restarted at the end of the race. For position number 4 with the number 53 of Owens trying to go to the outside on the number 27 of Moser, and the 35 of Sander, 35 of McFadden tries to hold. Watch out, the number 65 of Shears takes out the number 53 of Owens. And in the middle of that, also spinning, you've got the number 18 of Perry. All of those drivers keep on going with the number 65 of Shears apparently out of it and getting restarted and almost wrecking out the leader. And now Botts has crashed out of turn number 4. Can Botts get restarted? Botts is lobbying for a red flag. Place. You've got the number 35 of McFadden as Amos hung on the outside, is currently out of control. He crashes in turn number 4. He did a big tank slapper out of the 4th turn, hit the wall nose first. They're going to get some hot dogs and have a weenie roast. They're saying, hey, this thing's hot enough, let's go to the refrigerator in the garage, let's get some hot dogs so we can fix them out here while waiting for the car to get off the track. Trying to go to the outside of Johnson for second place as Johnson continues to put the pressure on the 69 of Bolton, but Bolton drives away. 2 cars have crashed in the back of the pack, not in number 88 and the number 64 car. The leaders are coming up to these guys. There's no place to go. It's all over for everybody, and they'll just barely manage to get through these wrecked cars as the number 35 of McFadden goes on through, but will come down to red. To Bolton in 3, gets even closer in turn number 4, almost touches the lead car, flicks to the inside of the first turn of the 23rd lap. Bolton holds on to the lead, Shears nails him, and he almost spun himself out, and he took the Johnson car to the wall, and he took himself out, did Shears, with 2 laps left to go. It's a 2-car fight for the lead between the 69 of Bolton and Monroe in number 24. They run in close quarters out of the second corner as Monroe bumps Bolton. Bolton responds by pulling another length ahead. They'll come to the white flag with the white car of Bolton up in front and Monroe on the attack, and Shears trying to come back in 3rd place. Inside move by Monroe, bonsai move, gets to the inside of Bolton and takes the lead by running through the infield and has Bolton by a length. Monroe will stretch it out of 3 and 4 and win the race by 2 lengths over Bolton, 3 lengths over Shears. An unbelievable move by Dennis Monroe, who cut down to the inside and took the lead as Shears just now finally gets past Bolton. An amazing victory. That cut down the advantage that Ford in the number 11 has over the second place number 18 of Garrigus. 3rd place to the number 59 of Prime. There's the car of Ford, of Frost going over Ward's tire and wrecking the number 38 of Rackley. And now Chicken's in trouble spinning over the 4th turn marker tire. Everybody keeps on going. Foster's got a big water leak. The entire field could crash. Foster spins. There's Morris out of control. Bilberry has spin. Frost wrecks Prime and the car Bilberry as at the skating rink in turn number 1. Frost in reverse gear almost wrecks out Norman, and Ford is blocked by the mess as we come down to red. Place is the smoking number 43 car that lost the wheel earlier. As we finish, watch out, the cars are already starting to commence to wreck each other, and it's your typical stock class melee as one car got flipped. That's the number 45 of George. He almost got flipped out of number 4. He'll somehow keep on going as we're still under green. Is back in position number 3. Leader, watch out of the crossover. Amos got clipped. Rather the number 12 of Oaks got clipped and spun around. Somehow keeps on going. No caution. The leader is, amazingly enough, the number 3 of Kenny Sizemore, who is still up in front. At the intersection, cars all over the place as the 34 Smith slowed and almost got hit. And now Rackley, a collision in the crossover, sees the number 11 of Kevin Ford get hit by the number 71 of Frost. Ford has no place to go. He got hit hard by Kenny Sizemore, and now crashing into the Ford cars, the number 24 of Fenwick as the red flag comes out. The number 11 of Ford got bashed around in the intersection several different ways, then got hit nose first by the number 3 of Sizemore, and then getting into it was the number 24 of Fenwick. The driver Ford is okay. Fenwick storms off the track to try to make repairs to his cars, and the number 3 of Kenny Sizemore, in the middle of his best run of the season at the Indianapolis Speedrome, is out of the race.
He got hurt.
George Sutton quickly gets out of his car to go over and check on his good friend Kenny Sizemore.
Tony Jr. is in the money tonight. Your 50-lap Pro Stock Figure 8 winner. Looks like he worked up a little bit of a sweat. This guy comes on strong. This is the second year in May that he's come on strong.
Comes back to the inside to challenge McFadden for first place. They storm out of the second corner. They barely find room. Oh, huge crash at the crossover. Sees the number 65 of Shears with a broken radiator all smashed up. Shears is lobbying for a red flag, and we will give him one. At the crossover, the number 65 of Shears, who had second place, charged to the crossover, collided hard with the number 14 car of Mike Hacker. Hacker's car is all torn up. Shears' car is going to need some towing off the track, and we're down to red. Brian Perry's car is on fire. Brian Perry's car is on fire. We're coming down to red. Brian Perry's car going up in flames. He doesn't know his car's on fire. Now he stops in the backstretch area with the smoke coming out of his car, and will send the track officials over to put the fire out on Brian Perry's car, and will come down to red. Instead of spinning back to last place. Well, the number 39 of Gerhold spins. And look at the number 2 of Rodney Sizemore running over somebody's outside wheel, getting into the air and hitting the wall. So you've got 2 of the Sizemore family's cars out after one lap. Move up through the field could be the story of this race, because remember, Bear was involved in 2 on a big crash that sees the number 12 of Mike St. John colliding in the crossover with a flat tire on the right front. Bear got nailed in the intersection. He's out of it. And Bill Tenney Jr. was lucky not to get caught up in that crossover melee. Parts where he is the manager. Something blew up in the Douthat car. There's a lot of fluid over in turn number 1 and 2. Douthat's leaking all over the track. Now he realizes the problem, and hitting the fluid and crashing in turn number 3 was the number 56 of Cooper, who hit whatever came out. Oh no, Charlie Reed hit that stuff too as well and got out of control. Way to go, Casey. Oh, he almost got knocked out of the way by 5 cars, and somehow he's still running. Oh no, Hart Smith got smashed by Spears and collecting Fulenkamp over in 1 and 2. Those drivers get disengaged and will keep on rolling hard through 3 and 4, but the ball holds on to the lead. Now it's Hargraves at 31 trying to get to the inside of Unruh. Runs into him, spins him, knocks him out, takes them both to the wall. And Hargraves gets out of control and somehow keeps on going. Now the 73 of Logan has leaked something on the track. Watch out in turn number 1. It could be slippery there. The ball keeps on going. Smith in second place, the number 55. To third place is the number 39 of Boyer. And now hitting the wall is Hargraves at 31, who crashes twice in 2 laps. Pushes up the racetrack, almost hits the wall as somehow we keep on going. Now Foster and Norman get together. They spin it for the entire field, and they take the number 12 of Oaks and the number 38 of Rackley to the wall over in turn number 1. Rackley gets restarted, as does Norman, but it's a melee out there. 5 drivers battle for second place, with Frost just barely staying ahead of Morris. Otto Cooper in big trouble, got out of control, and forced Chicken and the number 95 of Gibson into the first turn wall as Tunney comes across to win the race. Second place to Frost, and third place to Morris. The number 56 car of Cooper was completely out of control, coming across the start-finish line, tore away the first turn marker tire, got into the number 95 of Chicken Lewis, forcing him into the wall and blocking the number 95 of Gibson. Here come the leaders. Edwards looks for someplace to go. He got blocked. There's Perry down to the inside. He wants the lead. He won the race by a length over Edwards. Here's the battle for third place now between Burkhead and Johnson racing for third. They've got the last qualifying spots for the main event. Johnson down to the inside of Burkhead. Burkhead's these cars smashing through there. He got wrecked to the end, and so did Johnson, but they got the last two qualifying spots for the main event. Outside line attack for the number 53 of Owens. He runs into Brooks. Brooks runs into him. Typical wheel to wheel. Joe Smith crashes hard, taking out several other cars going into the infield. And we're still under green. And Schaefer got hit by Moser in the infield and almost got flipped. In the meantime, here comes the number 53 car. Number 81 of Spurgeon. He knocks the you-know-what out of Amos out of number 4. And there's Duvall trying to come to the outside to take the position. And now Amos runs into Duvall and spins him out in front of the entire field. And he gets smashed by the number 52 of Owens, and Duvall just somehow keeps on going. So Spurgeon gets second place, which is exactly what he wanted. In this race, we've lost about a dozen cars, including the oval feature winner, the number 20 of Connor. And the risks being taken at the intersection of Connor. No trouble as Danny Turner gets together with the number 1 of Jack Dawsey Jr., the number 44 of Bussey. Bussey has a broken radiator and has dropped out of the race. And Doug Gregg almost got hit by Mike St. John at the intersection as Dawsey circles around and is in danger of going 2 laps down.
In winner's circle.
Well, yeah, that'd be real nice. I got to thank God for it tonight. We broke a push rod in the oval feature and lost a cylinder, and then in the figure 8 tonight, it looked like we were going to drive away and lost a cylinder again 10 laps into the race. So we run 40 laps down a cylinder, and it took a lot of luck tonight. Got to start close to the front, and a lot of other guys had trouble, and the track got greasy, and all that stuff just kind of helped me.
A bit on the backstretch of the first lap of the race. Now the number 1 of Dawsey tries to crowd to the inside and hits Turner and almost knocks him out of the way. Dawsey backs down. Turner keeps on going. Now to second place, Amos. Third place is Stevens. In fourth place, watch out, there's Bussey. He got nailed by Amos, and they could take the rest of the field to the wall as Amos spins out of the lead. 3 leaders in 1 lap, and now it's Reitman in first place, the number 30. Number 36 of Coop to try to go to the outside of Owens for the last qualifying spot. Coop makes the pass coming out of turn number 2. They'll stack it up 3 wide going into turn number 3. Will they come out of turn number 4 in one piece? The answer is somehow yes. 3 wide for third place. Almost 4 wide as they stack it up 3 abreast all the way through turns number 1 and 2 with Coop on the outside as Monroe hits the back end of Luttrell's car, and Sloan decides he wants no part of that. He's getting out and backing up. There's Owens to the inside. He hit Wicker and spun him out. And Wicker drifts up the racetrack and almost hit Luttrell. Leader is 75 Sanders. Coop in 36 and Owens in 53. Race side by side for second place with Luttrell in the last qualifying the car, and they'll go 3 wide into the first turn. Kirby way up the racetrack, challenging Kuknauer for the lead. They close up on the slower car of Elliott. Goodbye, poor guy, as Elliott serves as the moving pick. And now Kuknauer comes to the inside, rams Elliott, and takes the lead back on the right flag. Kuknauer and Kirby are getting crazy out there. And now Johnson drops out of the race. Kirby sideways as Kuknauer comes back into the lead. One last chance. Oh no! Botts rammed into Elliott and crashed them both into the third turn wall. It'll be Kuknauer, Kirby, Knott, and Schaefer with the qualifying spots to the main event. Dameron holds on to the position, and now there's rigged into the inside of the number. Oh no! The Lincoln's car got hit hard by the 12 of Oaks after he got spun, coming across the start-finish line, and there comes the red flag. The Lincoln's car looped it coming out of turn number 4, got sideways in front of the rest of the field, then got hit by the number 12 of Oaks, bringing out the red. We're checking out Linkus, who took a hit in the left side of the car, and will bring the ambulance out as a precautionary measure. The distance. Tunney leads. Second place is Burkhead, who probably spins in front of the second pack and just barely gets out of the way. And now there's the number 17 car getting help from the number 38 of Rackley. They did get the motor fixed in that car. And we go down to red for various stalled cars on the track as the number 17 of Lane gets restarted. Top out anyway, hitting the wall twice probably made the difference. Rackley still trying for second place. Oh no, Jimmy Foster spins, and now it's Bobby Foster running against Rackley for second place, and he passes Rackley. He was slightly slowing still, and Rackley comes up and roots him out of the way. I don't know if Bobby Foster is going to like that, and he tries to get back to Rackley, but Rackley is away and gone. And oh, by the way, Doug Gregg style, there's the number 7 of Bill Tunney Jr., who's got a 3/4 of a lap advantage on everybody else. Well, that didn't hurt Bussey's car, but that hurt Edwards' car as Bussey nailed Edwards and knocked him out of the lead. We're still trying. The new leader is Amos. Second place is Brooks. Third place is, I don't know, it's 3 wide. There's the number 61 car. Goes to third place is Bussey. Not to knock down the wall. And Amos got hit by the 61 car, spinning out the 20, and the 61 keeps on going like nothing happened. So here's the number 56. We've been giving the black flag every lap to the number 99 car. He's come nowhere close to acknowledging it. What about the lead? Here we are coming to the last run. As Amos slows down, he almost got pushed to the corner by Brooks, and Amos easily goes through the intersection, spins across the line to win, and he got nailed hard by the 76 car after the checkered flag came out. Now here's McFadden and Edwards. They almost took each other out. As they come to the line, McFadden gets the last qualifying spot, barely away from Edwards. And the number 88 works for the lead. As Foster turns lane up sideways in front of the entire field, he got hit by Holman and got nailed by the number 870 of Rigdon as it's an 8-car chain reaction crash, bringing out a red flag. And they're stacked together, the 51 of Norman and the number 17 of Lane on top of each other. I don't believe it as we move quickly down there to get those cars apart. Norman and Lane ended up all over each other after they ran into the first turn. Then they stuffed each other big time. The drivers are out of their cars, but there's a pretty good sized cleanup job to be done. So we will have ourselves a complete restart here as Norman is out of his car. He's all right. He can't believe what happened. The inside of Gibson as Gibson wants to go to the outside of Dameron. They're dead even as Van Meter knocks Dameron out of the way in his mad pursuit of the number 95 of Gibson on lap number 14. And Dameron gets restarted. And now they're the inside. Number 23 of Van Meter hit and knocked the number 95 of Gibson out of the way and takes the lead. The 87 of Turner comes to second place. Seven of Tunney comes out of turn number 2. Watch out as the 13 machine slid through the intersection, and everybody else just barely got through as Bilbrey slid sideways to the crossover, and Turner and the car of Whitaker sandwiched the second place. McMurtry pretty much out of control anyway. And now over the last couple of laps, we see that the number 9 of McMurtry has pulled away in second place from the third place, number 2 of Rodney Sizemore. And now the number 59 of Steve Prine spins right across the bow of the number 27 of Deal. Almost took out the driver that is now the first one lap down. Coming out of Turner's number 87. Turner is leaking something on the track and could be black flag as Turner forces Gibson into Dameron, and that wrecks the number 4 of Charlie Reed into the second turn wall. Jr. trying to break records of the Indianapolis Speedrome wins his third consecutive figure 8 race. Jack Dawsey Jr., defending track and national figure 8 champion, comes across the stripe 9.1 seconds back.
Bill, and you're on a big roll this time.
Yeah, and I'm liking it too. The car was just awesome tonight. I mean, it started out, the car was hooked so good and the track's kind of slick, and we were able to get away, and I don't know what kind of problem Danny had, but he lost a lot of fluid out of his car. We had enough lead to have a luxury to be able to just back off and take her.
Anderson Speedway. Again, the race is going to be at the Anderson Speedway on Wednesday night, starting at 7:30.
Well, they missed the marker time. Oh, they hit the wall here on the main stretch. And now they almost, oh no, we're going to crash into 3 other cars. And they already have. The leader has crashed 3 times. The second place car has crashed as everybody's thoroughly out of control. 2 of Reardon staging to 3rd. And now there's Denny Buckler trying the outside line, 3 abreast out of turn number 4. And 2 cars get together. And there goes Casey Victory and the number 62 of Reardon spinning into the infield and out of contention. Number 4. Let's see what sort of madness they can come up with this time. Well, the usual, oh no, car's in trouble. It's going to be a massive crash over in turn number 1 with 3 machines into the wall. Scott Stevens' car all caved in the back, got hit in the back by Knife Leash number 43, and also in the spin, Birchfield in 37 will come down to red. Stevens can still drive that car even though the rear end's been all but ripped off. Again, they've got to circle the tire to finish the race. Here's the number 63 of Eads coming around the marker. Leads, loops the car sideways, makes a tighter turn, and steals the race. Leads won the race at the last instant and locked together with a second place car of Leads, who almost flipped. Leads won in number 11. Eads finished second in number 63. Hey, that's a nice Marlboro uniform, by the way. The winner of that one, the number 11 of Mike Leeds from last to first. Flagman, who's watching everybody else, who's trying to make some sense out of this madness. Also, who's going to make it 3 wide going into turn number 1, and he smashes by Roten into the lead. And as another car spins, Roten is snapped back to second place, and almost put in the wall as the sparks fly, as the number 25 of Roten turns around the 11 car and sends him back. Oh, well, nope, they're not broken the chain yet. It's just the trail cars trying to pass the lead. Oh, no! How did the 25 of Roten not hit the leader going through the intersection? I'll never know. Getting set for the finish of lap number 2. There are 2 cars that have stalled and 2 more cars run into them. It's a 6-car crash coming into turn number 3. Watch out as Johnson looking for some place to go. Oh, no, Johnson almost got nailed by 6 cars as Renault. Notice you've got Collins in the black uniform, Spurgeon in the blue uniform, talking about the way they ended the race. But notice Collins is the smart one. He's keeping his helmet on.
7 and 3rd place is Browning's 94. No, in 3 abreast racing, there's the number 30 of Whiteman trying to pass Schrubb. Schrubb hit him and put him into the infield and out of contention. Leader is still 45, Victory.
66 of Buckler is the driver on the charge. He dives down to the inside, and Victory's number 45. It's Victory coming out of the corner. Victory loses control, and Buckler takes the lead as Victory finally gets going in the fourth turn. And now for second place, there's Perry bouncing off Victory and taking the second spot. Last call. Oh, the Smith got turned around by Schrum over in turn number 2, and he got hit by the number 94, Browning, in the first call. Go to the number 51 of Leakins, the pole sitter, as we finish lap number 1. Now the number 75 car goes for the advantage. Look at Leakins, got nailed and spun out by Bolton, and then got hit by the number 35 of McFadden in turn number 1.
Flying spot on the backstretch against Bolton as the number 13 at Hall drives the number 66 of Buttram for lead. 3 wide out of turn number 4. Squeezed up, picks up, the box in the ball, out of control, hits the wall here at the end of the main stretch, and McFadden out of control, almost spins. Somehow Botts and Bolton keep on going.
Spot as the 48 of Gaskins holds on to the lead, and the number 38 of Miller runs second. Now watch the 63 of each down to the inside of Miller's 38. 3 abreast behind him. Let's see. Oh no, they can't do as the number 80 car got hit and spun out by the 99 and hits the wall over in turn number 1. Does the number 88 of Kook. Speedrome race of the year comes to the lead. There's the number 41. Oh, 3 cars crashing hard on the backstretch. The 41 of Foster got turned around, and then the number 85 of Lewis got into the wall and was crashing with the 3rd Foster. The number 40 of Jimmy Foster was in another car. No, it was the number 88 car of Jim Burkhead. Burkhead in 88 has crashed, so has Lewis in number 85. All that happened when a car lost the right front wheel going into turn number 3 after one of the Foster cars got spun. All the Foster cars are still in one place, but we'll check the drivers at the crash scene out of turn number 2 to see if they're okay. All indications are that they are. So we've lost 2 cars as a result of that first lap melee. Becky, he is limping. He has definitely felt the full impact of that crash, but chicken has not been fried. Lap number 1, they hit the brakes and do a hard left, and the number 75 of Victory goes way wide. Schrum hits the marker tire and slows down, and losing a tire is the number 28 of Disbro. He lost the right rear completely, and we come down to red. We'll have a complete restart. Number 58, but Gaskins fights Kirby hard to the inside in 3 and 4. He hit Kirby and he spun him out, and Gaskins holds on to the lead, but Kirby controls the spin and rejoins the fight in 5th place. Him to lose most of his lead to the new 2nd place car, Burkhead. Now Knifley on one side, Boyer on the other, and Boyer almost gets hit as Burkhead and Knifley hook together as they run each other hard, wheel to wheel, trading paint and sheet metal all the way through turns number 1 and 2. Now Burkhead out of control in turn number 3 and 4, still on the attack against Knifley for the last qualifying spot to the main as Kirby leads. Now Boyer almost loops him and recovers in 2nd, and Burkhead knocked the you-know-what out of Knifley and took over this 3rd spot. Squares down to the 2nd group on the backstretch. It'll be Deal and Bear. What about the last qualifying spot? Tunney wheel to wheel with Foster in 3. Foster has a nose out in front out of 4. Tunney powers back in the line as Foster spins into the infield. A dramatic last turn pass. So Foster spin into the infield on the last turn of the last lap of the race, and Bill Tunney Jr. in car number 7 gets that final transfer spot to the main in one of the most amazing passes we've seen at the Indianapolis Speedrome this season. Through turns number 3 and 4 of lap number 8, bumps the back end of Gibson's car, but now Bear is being joined by the number 4 of Charlie Reed in a 3-car fight for 4th place. Now Bear and Gibson get together and go for a spin out of turn number 2, taking both drivers out of contention. Gibson is out of it with a flat tire on the right rear, and Bear comes over to give Gibson a piece of his mind and then decides that's it, I'm out of the race. But Bear had a tremendous run when it was going. Up in front is still the number 9 of McMurray as they come to the white flag. Fenwick now caught behind Morris at number 26. Tries to move Morris out of the way, can't do it. Here's Sutton right behind Fenwick. He has one chance to make the move. He does not come down to the inside. Now Sutton dares on the low side, coming down inside. He hits Fenwick. He almost put him in the wall, and Fenwick somehow wins the race with Reed stealing second at the line. In one of the wildest finishes in the history of the Indianapolis Speedrome, George Sutton charged down to the inside, knocked Fenwick out of the way, but Fenwick recovered at the line to win the race. In 38, he starts to pull away in a hurry. The battles for second place. Eads got hit by Williams and spun out, trapping Sanders and putting him into the wall in midair, and then he got hit from behind by the number 96 of Rogers, and Sanders, with a wheel torn off, limps down the track, and the red flag comes out after one lap was completed. The melee began when the numbers 62 of Williams and 63 of Eads were battling for second place. They got together. Williams and 62 got forced to the outside, running over his car and hitting the wall in mid-air was the number 75 of Sanders, and then plowing into the back of them was the number 96 of Rogers. A four-car chain reaction melee that brings out the red flag. Owens storms ahead and tries to move with Buckler for the lead. They are even with 2 laps left to go. Outside Owens, inside Buckler, battling for the lead with Schaefer in third place. Buckler pushes to a length ahead of Owens, and Schaefer tries to join him in an inside move around Owens as we come to the white flag, and they bang all over each other with 1 lap left to go. Schaefer tries to crawl to the inside of Owens for second place as Schaefer and Owens and Buckler get together. Owens and Schaefer batted all over each other in turn number 2. That let Buckler get away for a 2-length advantage and a victory at the stripe.
Oval feature. What a lot of heat you had behind you.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Roger Schaefer for racing me clean there and not taking me around.
All right, it was clean. There was a little bit of bumping and banging back there. They bumped and banged, let you get away from them.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'd like to thank my son Todd for hanging in there.
Number 44 of Bussey tries to move back around Bussey. No, Connor, you can't do that. Connor almost took out the number 24 Fenwick and hit Fenwick and spun himself out, breaking his rear axle. Connor had the lead and then took himself out at the crossover, and Connor is in a bad place. Racing as the leader, Barry, almost takes out Rogers. Rogers facing the wrong way. Here comes the entire field, and Rogers just barely survives as he almost got hit by Gerhold that time. And as Rogers goes off for a change of underwear, here is the leader, the number 14 of Barry, still looking strong. Coming through the intersection, closing 38 Rackley in second, the number 87 of Turner in third, the 15 of Lee in fourth, as the number 24 Fenwick goes for a spin, apparently in a collision, while the number 39 of Gerhold, and Gerhold is out of it. Here's the 38 of Rackley. Victory for Turner if he can hold it off, because watch out, number 30 of Decker in the wrong direction. He got hit by Fred Bear. It tore up Decker's car. Bear keeps on going. No, Bear has a flat tire. He's out of the race as Derek Decker, facing the wrong way, takes out a contender in Fred Bear Jr. It's the number 87 of Danny Turner going against the current World Figure 8 champion in Dwayne Lee as Amos drops out of the race. Turner in four-breast racing forces the number 56 of Nelson to a spin. Now bumps the number 41 of Foster, and Turner took himself out in those collisions, wrecked himself out of the race, and gives first place to Dwayne Lee. A frustrated Turner spins his car in the infield in disgust. He broke the tie rod and has taken himself out of the race. Second advantage now with 10 laps left to go. Fourth place is Tunney in the number 7. Fifth place, the number 24 Fenwick, then the number 19 of Sutton. And now there's Dwayne Lee running into the back end of Rigdon, and Dawsey takes advantage of that to cut underneath Dwayne Lee in turn number 3 and 4 and retake second place.
Well, basically, I just followed Dwayne. He was making the hose, and I was following him. And I tell you, I don't think if Danny would have got in trouble, I don't think we could have passed him. So he got in trouble, and we was there to pick it up.
Of McMurtry, and Van Meter will take the spot away from McMurtry as the white flag comes out for Maxine 38. Breakfast sideways, first side, full side, the number 94 there takes the lead in the first third of the last lap of the race. The intersection, here comes the lead on the 31 of Whitaker, who slips through the intersection just as below Smith, the number 10, and the entire Foster family is stuck. The crossover is blocked as the leader Whitaker comes out of turn number 2. Now, all the Fosters just pulling to get out of the way. As Whitaker's got a huge advantage as he comes to the third lap of this side line. Keith Connor's trying to come to the intersection. Almost blocked. There's Langford. Big shot. There's Sonny. There's Cole. There's Taylor. Now, number 71. Cole hit and took out the train number 4. I don't believe it. With victory in sight. Sonny was hit by Cole in the intersection. Sonny's car is out of it. And there's Taylor coming through the intersection. And Sonny's wreck machine comes to turn number 1 in a shocking surprise finish. He has got the number 5 of Robert Davis to steal this race and win the national championship figure 8 feature.
Of Turner comes the number 87 of Art Smith as those cars hit each other on the backstretch of the first lap of the race. And now Turner's car pushes hard and comes down on top of Johnson's machine. They grind each other coming through the main stretch, and Turner drops back several positions as the 53 of Owens does a big slide job on him. Looks for the lead, comes up a length short, thinks about driving through Knifley and can't do it. Now there's the number 69 car, Bolton, helping the number 88 car of Knott out of the way. Knott's out of it now with a flat tire on the right rear. Up in front, Knifley in 43. Outside of Kuchenauer, 96 outside of 80. Looks for third place, takes it away in turn number 3 of lap number 4. Now Collins tries the outside of Luttrell, and he gets put to the wall by the number 80 of Kuchenauer, tearing that car to shreds and bringing out the yellow. Kuchenauer and number 80 rammed into the number 96 of Collins and tore that rear end up. And it comes down to red. We'll make ourselves a quick move to get things restarted and conclude the final few laps of this race. Go to the main as Fegley now clears the number 70 of Rigdon. He's challenging Sloan for the last qualifying spot, bringing with him Connor. As Rigdon pushed up the track and almost got into Connor, there's Fegley passing, and now Sloan slows down and wrecks out the cars of Rigdon and Gerholdt. And now Rigdon hit and almost spun out the number 65 of Higgins. Going, 3 drivers now going for 2 qualifying spots to the main event. And there's Hughes taking the Fegley car to the wall as Fegley comes down on top of Connor, and they bring up a shower of sparks, and they somehow keep on going as they start lap number 6. It looks like an ordinary race with Chuck Willoughby out in front. But here on the outside comes the number 47 car of Joe Alley looking for the lead. They're wheel-to-wheel out of turn number 4. But will they starboard cross the line at full speed? No, they'll start by almost wrecking each other. And they take each other out as the field looks for the flagpole. As Alley throws the car in reverse, trying to survive. And the leader will be Willoughby with the second place going to the number 28 of Diz. Racing hard for the last qualifying spot. The number 70 of Follenkamp slowed down. Now there's McFadden, and he spins, and McFadden, oh, got the last qualifying spot. Was it McFadden or the number 58 of Kirby? 99 and 28. Burkhead and Disbro are going to be right in play. And now Burkhead gets hit and spun out. The number 66 of Bertram now ran into the number 63 of Eads, and he wrecked the Schaefer number 12. A 3-car crash, bringing out the red flag. The number 66 of Bertram spun going into turn number 3. When he came around after the spin, he got Eads in 63, who wrecked the points leader, the number 12 of Schaefer, bringing out the red flag. The top 3 cars have crashed out of the race. And a frustrated Schaefer wonders what happened. On the inside, on the outside, the number 34 Bots. They stay dead even as they touch in turn number 2, and Bots gets a nose out in front of Spurgeon. Spurgeon drives it deep into turn number 3 and 4 to try to retake the lead, and does so for an instant, but Bots gets back in first as we go into turns number 1 and 2. On the back stretch of that lap, there's the number 82 of Spurgeon back up in front, and Bots back to second place in the number 34. They stay wheel to wheel as we finish the lap and go into the first corner. It's still Spurgeon up in front. Bots to the outside now slips a length back in second place, but Spurgeon slips, and as we work to lap number 18 in the third turn, there's Bots trying to come up alongside Spurgeon once again for the lead. Bots gets a nose out in front of Spurgeon going into turn number 1. Spurgeon returns the favor in turn number 2 of lap number 19, and Bots gets the lead going into the third turn, and Spurgeon fights back to the inside and gets first place out of turn number 4, and Spurgeon has a 3/4 of a length advantage into turn number 2, and the lead belongs to George Lane in 17. Burkhead, oh, watch out! Number 35 of Mike Hughes triggers a big crash on the back stretch. Mike Hughes got turned sideways and wrecked a whole bunch of cars. Everybody keeps on going, except for now Mike Hughes on the wall. He's stuck there and will come to red. And Mr. Excitement, Mike Hughes, is officially back at the Indianapolis Speedrome. Lane into second place. Here's Bobby Foster moving past Lane into third place, and the Fosters are on the charge. No trouble as Barry and Danny Turner get together in the third turn, and Barry goes helplessly spinning out of the race. Are having their problems at the end of this race with 4 laps left to go, but still it's a 1-second advantage for the number 31 of Whitaker over the 44 of Bussey, and running each other almost crazy into the infield. The number 15 of Dwayne Lee and the number 94 of Bear. Those guys almost wrecked each other here at the main street. And Spurgeon is 1.4 seconds as we come to 8 laps. Cross flags this time by halfway through this stock figure 8. And 4 or 5 cars have wrecked over in turn number 1 and 2. One of them, the Perry number 18, and the other one may have been the Spurgeon number 81. Perry is out of it in the 18 machine. And letting Boyer and Burkhead and Amos get closer, and letting the number 82 get further and further ahead. As Burkhead hit Boyer and lifted him into the air and took out Art Smith, and the number is 57 of Amos, as Burkhead in one fell swoop wrecks 8 cars. We come to lap number 12. Is 2 this year, Ernie McFadden. Burkhead may have hit the wall in turn number 1. Car comes out of the second turn in first place. Now it's Foster versus Burkhead. 7 or 8 cars have crashed over in turn number 1. The number 2 of Rodney Sizemore, Bear in number 94 among others. And those cars aren't moving very well. Danny Turner's caught up into that in the number 87, along with Bear, Curtis McMurtry, and the number 2 of Rodney Sizemore. Everybody gets out of the way. Danny Turner's car is wrecked with the rear axle that's broken. Baird pulls away in the number 90. The number 23 of Van Meter. How they got through there, I'll never know. Working the 29th lap, Lee and Dawsey. Watch out in the intersection as Rackley takes them all out. Rackley got into both of the leaders and spun them out, and Fenwick takes the lead. Rackley took out Lee and Dawsey, and Fenwick comes to first place. Rich Fenwick, thanks to Rackley's encounter at the intersection, steals first place. Turn. Lee's got the advantage. He's pulling Fenwick by a couple of lengths in turn number 3 and 4, but there's still the crossover ahead. And as they come to the stripe, it will be Lee beating Fenwick by 3 lengths. He's out of the car. Your winner, Dwayne the General Lee. And as Dwayne Lee celebrates his victory at the Indianapolis Speedrome, we would like to thank all of you great fans for being here on this Saturday night. Sending both cars into a wild spin coming into turn number 3, and everybody somehow keeps on going. Spots, once he got a taste of lead, he looked good, and Burkhead hit the wall with the right rear and cut down the right rear tire. He finds out just just how much when he spins in turn number 2 and tries to get going once again. Winner of this will be Box in the number 30. The number 66 car dropping out of the race is the fact that car is not moving up with the leader. Coming out of the second corner, Bolton hits the number 27 car. They go sliding into the infield and out of control. Moser is now out of it, and Bolton loses 3 spots in the process. So the John Aldrich flatbed, I believe, has arrived, and that means they're going to get one of these cars off the track, one way or the other. Here comes Brian's car. Now you realize why we had to wait for the wrecker to come in. The front suspension's all torn up. This car is lucky to have only 3 or 4, well, lucky to have 2 wheels on it, let alone 3. At the crossover, number 69 of RJ Norton stops just short of the intersection. He almost took out the leaders, as we see. The number 19 of George Sutton. Spin coming out of number 4. Now Norton is stolen at the crossover. Here come the leaders. And he got hit by Bear, who got hit by the number 71 of Coles, who then got hit by the number 4 of Fenwick, bringing out the red. The second wreck of the night for the number 94 of Bear. And the number 69 of RJ Norton gets out of his car, runs away from the machine, which we understand has a big oil leak. Fuel leak, I stand corrected. There's a big fuel leak from Norton's number 69. You can see it pouring out of the fuel cell as we come down to red. Big fuel leak from the number 69 of RJ Norton as we have come down to red. Again, Norton to the number 69, stopped at the intersection just short of everybody else, then could not start. When we came to the restart, Bear plowed into Norton, and then Coles plowed into Bear, and then Fenwick plowed into Coles, bringing out the red flag. Bear in his second wreck in as many features is waiting to be towed off. As for the number 69 of Norton, that car's fuel cell got torn open by the impact, and it is dropping a lot of fuel onto the racetrack over in the infield area around turn numbers 3 and 4 of the figure 8 course. Side of 9 spot for second place is the number 34 Bots. And Bots, through turns number 3 and 4, tries to move around victory. A wheel has come off a car, and it bounced high, going through turn number 3 and 4. That was the left rear wheel from Knott's number 88 that bounced over the wall and hits the wheel fence, and that brings out the red. Wild action already as the number 88 of Ted Knott throws the left rear wheel going into turn number 3. You can see a piece of the suspension is laying on the ground on the racetrack over in the third turn, and Speedo Jr. is going to have to go and pick it up, but pick it up carefully because if it came off the car, that means it's hot. Place now goes to Disbro in 28. Victory races hard against Bots. Victory in 45 takes Bots in 34. High out of the fourth turn. They collide as they finish the lap, and Bots went over on all four wheels. He keeps on going, and he hit Victory again in turn number 2. How did he stay on all four wheels? I'll never know. As now the number 82 Spurgeon has the lead. Victory in second place in 45. To third place is Bots that tries to move around Victory again in turns number 1 and 2 of lap number 6. And now they almost get together again. And now Bots has the position. Bots got hit by Victory, and Victory spun himself out, and he almost knocked down the fireworks. He cut inside the marker by Schaefer in the 12 car, comes to first place. They almost make it 3 wide as they race the last qualifying spot. Owen Scott's wrecked by the number 81 of Spurgeon. That'll cost him dearly as they both lose qualifying spots to the main event. 12 Schaefer wins around the number 43 of Knifley, bringing with them the number 65 of Shears. And Shears and Knifley get together at turn number 3. They wreck each other solid, almost putting Knifley on his roof, but making the pass for position is Knifley as Shears gets back underway and almost got spun out by New. Cars almost touch as they come to the white flag. Amos and Kirby continue to run wheel to wheel. Behind them, 14 Hacker and 30 Whiteman. How will this run as they're dead even, going for the lead? It's Amos out in front. No, it's Kirby out in front. Amos has the lead in 3. He bumps with Kirby out of turn number 4. Too close to call. Too close to call. The call is for the 57 of Amos by inches over the 58 of Kirby. Frost holds him off, going to turn number 1 of lap number 5. Frost tries the outside. He gets collected by Rogers, and both cars are wrecked on the backstretch. And ramming into him is the number 11 of Kevin Ford as the red flag comes out. And a frustrated, disgusted Kevin Ford tosses his helmet out. And he gets out, and he can't believe his bad luck. We'll also check out Steve Frost to the number 71, who took a hit on the left side of the car. Everybody managed to get out of that wreck, and there's a small disagreement between Ford and Frost, and they are talking about what happened in that wreck. Let me interpret for you folks that can't hear it what is happening out there. Frost is saying, "Excuse me, sir, I must object to your driving there because you may have lost control and slid into me." And Ford responds and says, "I'm sorry, sir, I inadvertently lost control of my racing vehicle and momentum carried me into your car. I must apologize for the contact." That's exactly what they're saying over there in the backstretch, folks. Believe me. Gets taken by the Chicken going down the backstretch. Now it's Chicken versus Easy Money for third place in turn number 3 and 4. They come across the stripe. And let's see if they can keep on going as they come to lap number 4. Outside, it's Easy Money. He's lost his spot to the Chicken Man. The second spot and goes off to challenge Curtis for the lead. 3 wide in turn number 1. Wham and a sandwich with the cars of Dameron and Foster, and there's Danny Turner splitting the difference. No, he won't. He almost got squeezed into a pulp. To the inside of Dameron. He doesn't care about that brand new bodywork, does Danny Turner. He'll come to the lead somehow. A car spins at number 4. That's Easy Money Foster. There goes Curtis spinning. He gets Dameron and Foster in one fell swoop. And everybody else manages to keep on going. On lap number 9. Take a look at the sky, folks. It's a full moon, and you know what that means. Things get we break into absolute total lunacy here at the Indianapolis Speedrome, as nothing makes any sense. 5 of 15. And Foster side by side. Jimmy Foster inside in 40, outside Bobby Foster in 42. Last qualifying spot for the moment belongs to Lamb in 36 as it gets wild out of turn number 4. Now Lamb tries to score off to the inside, and he nailed and wrecked the number 40 of Jimmy Foster, but that put Bobby Foster in the lead. The second place is Connor in 20. Third place is now Bob Foster, as Lamb may have put the number 34 Smith into the this race in 2 laps. To third place, now comes Lewis, who falls back on the outside. No trouble, 2 cars have crashed hard on the backstretch. They'll make that 6 cars that have crashed hard. The number 2 of Sizemore, the number 1 of Dawsey rammed each other going down the backstretch, and that took out Hard Luck Fred Bear in 94, the 56 of Nelson, the 7 of Tunney, and the number 24 of Rich Fenwick. And Bear and Dawsey almost run into each other again as they storm their cars into the pit area so they can get them fixed for the Pro Stock Figure 8. So these cars were involved in the wreck. 94 Bear, 1 Dawsey, 56 Nelson, 2 Sizemore, 7 Tunney. All of the drive and the number 24 of Fenwick, our indications are that all of those drivers are okay. Also involved the number 31 of Whitaker. 7 cars wrecked in that first lap melee. All of the drivers are okay. Race side by side for position number 7. There's the number 36 of Coop going to the outside of Amos, and now getting together, crashing hard. Miller and Spurgeon in turn number 3. Miller bounces off the wall like nothing happened to his car. Maybe nothing. Third place will go to the number 36 of Coop. Great battle for position number 5 that goes to the number 53 of Owens, just out of Whiteman at the number 30. What's wrong with Owens and Whiteman? Are they arguing over something? I suppose so. Finished 1 lap. Coming to turn number 3 of lap number 3. The leader is Connor in the number 20. Heavy traffic in the intersection. Connor just barely gets through. No, Connor gets taken out of the intersection by the number 23 of Eddie Van Meter. And Connor facing the wrong direction. Will he manage to get around everybody? There's Connor trying to get out of the field's way. And Connor is lucky to survive that confrontation of the intersection. If Tunney puts Dawsey a lap down, that gives Tunney a major in-run at the intersection. How did Tunney get through there? I thought he was going to be destroyed by Bear. That's the closest escape we've ever seen at the intersection of the Indianapolis Speedrome, and Tunney will try to duplicate it coming to the cross before to finish that 38th lap. Let's measure the gap between first and second place. Third place to the number 4 of Charlie Reed. Now the back to 4th place to the number 21. 5th place now goes to Dawsey in the number 1. Around the 6th place, number 20. Got away with it. Hargraves drops back, has been passed for the last qualifying spot by Knott, and they'll make it 3 wide again. And there goes the number 31 of Hargraves into the wall hard, just as 2 cars spin here in the main stretch. The 2 leaders, Turner in 64 and Reif in 76, got together and flagged out of the contest in the number 88. Here's the finish. The 93 of Johnson wins. 53 of Owens is in second. 62 of Luttrell third. There's Turner wrecking the car of Luttrell as they come across the line, ripping off Turner's rear wheel. 4th place goes to the number 76 of Reif. Typical finish of a stock class race here at the Indianapolis Speedrome. Of Shears almost gets hit and spun out by the number 81 of Cooper in close contact racing that now sees Shears hit and spun out by Cooper. The number number 63 of 65 of Shears, almost as if waiting for Cooper. He got Cooper and he put him into the wall as Shears waited for Cooper and wrecked him on the backstretch, and now pulls off the track, having proven his point. For the lead and gets it away from Foster. And now Foster got hit and almost wrecked by Lamb in turns number 3 and 4. I don't know how they managed to keep on going. Foster holds on to the second spot. He got bonsaied by Lamb. They go hard into the wall, and Foster's on top of the wall. That'll bring out the red. Lamb nailed Foster 3 or 4 times in that start of the race. And I have no idea what that was all about. Quickly, the track workers go over to check out the Foster car to see if the driver's okay. Lamb gets out of his car. He's okay. Oh, no, he's not. He fell out of the car getting out. Now Lamb's over there looking for Foster. Where are you, Bob? Bob Foster's in there someplace. I don't know, maybe they can't find Foster. Maybe he's disappeared someplace. Already they are. As, oh no, Bruce Cooper missed it! I don't believe it! Bruce Cooper missed the flagpole! He still doesn't know what's going on! Bruce Cooper hasn't finished the first lap! He's running at the tail end of the lead lap! Bruce Cooper doesn't know what's going on! Now, oh, he keeps on going! He's only completed 1 lap! Oh, Bruce Cooper's blown it! Big time! Now he realizes what's going on! He thought, oh no! No, not almost got hit by Boyer, and the number 56 of Butler got hit by 2 cars and wrecked coming around the tire. Darker tire, as we come to the white flag, as not tries to close up here at the end of the race. As again, as I see it, the leader is not at number 88. It comes to the inside of Burkhead and takes the lead. I'll say third place is Disbrow's number 28, as now Burkhead's off the pace of the number 99. And I think the fourth place car might have been the number 21 as we come to the checkered flag. And there it is, the checkered flag flying for the number 88 car, who spins and stops, and that'll give Disbrow the victory. No, it won't, and oh, too close to call. I think the 28 car of Disbrow may have just barely gotten the victory on that one. Miscounted the laps, and the race was already over when we saw Burkhead slow down, so the winner of that one was the 99 of Jim Burkhead. The announcer made a big boo-boo. We got to apologize for that when Jim Burkhead did win the race in the number 99, and the reason that we kept on calling the races, for some reason we thought the race was not yet over. The announcer blows it every now and then like that. Now goes to the outside as the leaders close up on the number 83 of Country Brown, and Country Brown gets hit and spun out by Morris, and that allows the number 83 of Danny Turner to come to the lead. Back as each tries to come to the inside of victory at the end of lap number 10. Still dead even side by side. Victory and Eads and Buttram all get together coming on the backstretch, with Eads trying to make it go to the inside. He knocks Victory out of the way. Victory traps Buttram and the number 89 of Edwards against the wall, and Eads has first place as the number 89 of Coop went for a wild ride, a 3 and 4, and somehow came down on all fours.
Championship. There he is. Chris Eads, a hard-fought win. This is one happy guy.
In the backstretch, he won't start the race. Leader is the 11 of Ford, now getting spun. The 83 of Country Brown in a big melee. And look at Charlie Reed's car go for a massive ride over the number 27. He sets the altitude record for the night as he's stuck on the wall. Will come down to the red as Charlie Reed at the number 4 in the melee that happened after the number 83 of Country Brown spun, went all fours in mid-air and came down on top of the wall about 30 feet downstream of where Bob Foster did the same thing during his preliminary race. We're under red. The driver is okay. 40 goes a lap down. There's Danny Turner spinning his car, collecting several machines into the wall. Unforced error by Turner. Wrecked So a whole bunch of guys, including Bill Tunney Jr. and the number 83 of Country Brown and the number 31 of Bobby Whitaker. Let's see if those guys can get out of the way, as now the Fred Bear car is out of it in the number 94. There goes all these cars finally getting disengaged just as we come down to red.
Alfred, he was running awful good. I couldn't get around him. I tried 2 or 3 times going the high side around him, but Bobby was coming off the corner real good. I just happened to get by Bobby in traffic and stuff like that, and I kept on looking at the leaders, and I knew I was meeting him at the crossover, but man, Bobby was only about 5 car lengths back. If I stop for those guys, he's going to come and get me, and I got a battle on my hands.
Place. Hazelwood in third place, the number 90, challenged on the outside, and now Hazelwood gets knocked out of the way by the number 90 car, just as the number 82 of Spurgeon hits the wall, bringing with them the number 55 car of Smith and the number 43 of Knife. Fourth corner for the number 19 of George Sutton all over. Here's a collision for position. The number 93 of Fegley is put into the wall by the number 38 of Rack. On Dawsey. Dawsey gets loose in turn number 2. Janney Turner will have one shot at Dawsey going into the third turn. There's Turner to the inside. Dawsey to the outside. Out of turn number 4. They come to the line, and Dawsey beat Turner by 1 wheel length to win the Pro Stock Oval feature. Arm no foul on this one. Leader 56 Buckler, second place the number 40. Oh no, trouble in turn number 2. 2 cars to collided. The 99 of Burkhead and the number 53 of Owens as the leaders come charging underneath. Leads them into turn number 4. 7 laps left to go. Heavy traffic ahead. Cars are crashing. And Knott gets into those cars, and there's Shackelford down to the inside, sneaking through and taking the lead as Buckler has hit the wall in turn number 3.
Speedrome Oval, and is this one happy guy? Jeff, congratulations. There's your trophy, a super win. Hey, you must like turning right.
Oh, you know, I've been dreaming about coming out here for years. I've been watching my Uncle Mike and Tommy St. John run. They are the best in the business, therefore I intend to be the best in the business. I got a lot of help from my dad, Steve Shackelford. Want to dedicate this win to him and Shackelford Masonry and everybody that helped me.
All right, there you are, one happy win.
Place is the number 95 of Kim Gibson, and Gibson got wrecked, and there are several cars piling in over in turn number 1 as the number 95 of Gibson got spun. That leads to a multi-car pileup and a red flag. The number 95 of Kim Gibson, who was running the lead pack, got hit and spun out, collecting the 17 of George Lane, the 11 of Kevin Ford, the number 17 of Frost, and the number 95 of Feg. Early in the race, and there is Van Meter hitting Bear coming out of the second corner, trying to go to the outside. He'll regret that, as Bear helps him almost to a mouthful of concrete, and in the process, they get together with the number 1 of Dawsey, and that lets Dawsey through to the inside of Van Meter, and Bear's out of the race with that contact with a flat tire on the left front. Also dropping out just now is the number 10 of Tunney, and now there's a lot of smoke out of Van Meter's number 23. That contact took 2 cars out, and one of them, the number 23 of Van Meter, was a clear contender to win this race. 5th place, number 15 of Dwayne Lee. As I see it, that's about it as far as the cars on the lead lap are concerned. Although I think 96 Rogers may still be on the lead lap, but just barely. Leaders now coming through the traffic once again, coming through the intersection. Inside move by Charlie Reed. Tries to make the move, can't make the pass. On the backstretch, they're out and punching. It's the number 23 of Van Meter and Bear. Bear and Van Meter out of the cars. They're throwing punches. They're nailing each other right and left, and the track officials have gotten them separated and away from each other. Round number 1 is finished.
No, I thought we'd get up there a little quicker, but we got a little bad luck. So we just kept hanging in there, and last Wednesday we got clear up on top of the wall, I guess you noticed. That was kind of a wild ride, but I tried to stay off that wall all night, and so we made it to the winning circle.
Flag is displayed, and the race is underway. They're already starting to stack it up. The trouble with several cars get into it. You saw the number 38 of Penny Rackman and a crash from the start, running over another car, taking with them the number 66. the number 76 of Rife High. Rife and Victory get together. Victory slows, and he comes down and gets hit by Sloan. Sloan keeps on going as if nothing happened, and now Art Smith goes for a spin, helping several cars out over in turn number 3 and 4, and putting Jeff Shackelford into the wall. And Weicker is helped out of the way by Spurgeon as the number 69 of Bolton spins. And Spurgeon took out both of those cars, the 65 and 69 car, when he spun wildly out of the 4th turn, and he keeps on going like nothing happened. Shown to the white, black, and red car. Not Eames to the inside of Kirby. As they come down the main stretch, he'll come down low to challenge Kirby for first place, taken away by running through the infield. But Kirby and Knott get together. They almost speared each other into the wall. Knott gets away with it, almost spins the car out of the 4th turn, beats Kirby by 3 lengths to win the event. And third place goes to Collins as Kirby wants to pull up to Knott and give him a piece of his mind, and probably does so on the backstretch. Why'd you do that? I was trying to win the race. When I was trying to win the race, I was up ahead. No, I was up ahead. No, I was up ahead. No, you were ahead. No, I was ahead. And they are still talking over it as Kirby is having such a wonderful conversation. Two looks to the inside of Victory as 2 cars crash coming out of the 4th turn. One of the spots is the number 34. The other one is the number 43 of Knifley. And now Sloan and the number 16 of Jones wrecking. As Lamb and Fegley stay side by side, 3 wide out of turn number 2, as there's Deal to the inside of Lamb, and he bumps the marker tire as Lamb still tries to fight off Fegley. Lamb got Fegley and wrecked him out of turn number 4, and rides over him as they ride into the infield, and Fegley got the position. Traffic. Now Hacker breaks out of the box on lap number 19. Char's in trouble in turn number 3 and 4. The number 99 of Burkhead going the wrong way. Pulls across the racetrack right ahead of Young and hits and wrecks Young. I don't believe it. Burkhead hit and wrecked Young. He wrecked the leader and gave first place to Hacker and tore off a tire in the process.
I know he's back here. I just running hard trying to get away from him.
Crash at the intersection. Tunney is slow to get started at the intersection. Big wreck sees the number 71 of Frost knocked out of the contest. Left to go. Dringley has to get 2 perfect laps to hold on to the lead. There's 87 Turner and Dawsey colliding as they come through the intersection, but Turner got knocked aside, and there's Dawsey coming underneath Turner, and now Turner hit Dawsey, but he spun himself out. Turner trying to get some payback on Dawsey, but he wrecked himself in the process. Oh no! Wrecking car is the number 65 of Shears. I don't know what side of the Cooper. He wrecked the Shears car coming out of 4th turn and really deliberately crashed it out. I don't believe it. First turn, Gowden's got the lead. To the low side of the number 68 is Gines, and there's trouble already coming out of the 2nd turn as the number 99 of Burkhead is where he's been so often this year at the Indianapolis Speedrome, spinning in the wrong direction. As Turner got turned around for a moment. Here's Shears at number 65. Moving to 3rd place is the number 99 of Burkhead has wrecked his 2nd driver in as many races. He hit and wrecked the number 18 of Perry, who came back and wrecked Burkhead. And now the number 65 of Shears comes to the lead. And the number 64 of Turner's in 2nd place as the Burkhead cars wrecked the number 18 of Perry. And he's also taken out a 3rd car, whose number I can't see, as the number 57 of Amos wrecked the number 69 of Bolt, and we come down to bad shape, but everybody else keeps on going. As Brian Conley has the lead, we've got 3 cars that have wrecked each other at the intersection. One of them, the number 91 of Cooper, throws an axle, and we come down to Not in number 88. 7th place is the number 58 of Kirby, as Brown in a big hit at the intersection with Knifley's number 43. Knifley pulls away. Brown kind of sits there for a moment, waving as if to say, I might have stalled the car, and Brown will kind of sit there for a moment.
Stock figure 8 winner, driver of car number 87, Art Smith.
3 and 4. You've got the number 14 of Barry looking for a hole at the intersection. Massive hit with the number 27 of Deal. That all but destroys Deal's car and tears up the number 14 of Barry. And Barry waves to try to keep everybody else from hitting him. 1 of Dawsey is closing up to this lead group. Dawsey again is trying to get a lap back, and he hits the wall in turn number 1. Dawsey has crashed again. Dawsey hits the wall, pushing it too hard. He is in trouble and out of the to the white flag this time by. There's the number 15 of Dwayne Lee attacking to the inside of Turner, taking the lead in the second turn of the last lap of the race, bouncing off the marker tire as they come up to the number 70 Rigdon and split him, and Lee makes the outside move to take the spot away from Turner. In turn number 4, it will be Dwayne Lee making the big move at the end of the race to steal the contest and beat Danny Turner in the last lap.
I'll present that. Ladies and gentlemen, your newest and 15th annual inductee into the Indianapolis Speedrome Hall of Fame, Joe Simpson.
Cooper, as those drivers go for the lead out of the 4th turn. Edwards comes to the inside of Cooper, runs into him, nails him, spins him out, and takes Edwards with him. They both wreck. Edwards bounces off the wall, keeps on. Johnson still has 3rd place. He's got a lot of smoke from his car. He'll still run. He doesn't know the meaning of the word quit. Johnson pushes hard. He looks for 2nd place, and Fulenkamp puts Johnson into Smith, wrecks all 3 cars. They drag each other in a cloud of smoke across the line, coming to 2nd place to the number 10, his brother Bruce, trying him on the outside, and behind him, watch out, 2 cars run into each other. It's the good friends of Johnson County. The 4th and wins the race by a length over Bossy. 3rd place to Bear, and the number 26 of Morris crashes on the backstretch, sending the number 23 of Van Meter up on top of the wall, and the number 93 of Begley is wrecked as well. As the number 87 of Turner gets out of the car after a huge crash, Turner's upset because slipping on the water or whatever and crashing into him after the wreck was over was the number 38 of Rackley. But as Turner fumes and Connor complains, there is one reason why they are so frustrated. Why is Connor so upset? Why is Turner so mad? Why is everybody upset about the way this race has run? I'll tell you why. It's because a woman whipped him and they don't want to admit it. It's because these big he-men got taken down by a little lady.
Here she is, and as far as our records show, Kim Gibson is the first to win a Pro Stock oval feature here at the Indianapolis Speedrome. You finally did it.
We finally made it. Thanks to everyone here backing us. We finally made it.
All right, congratulations. A lot of help this year and a lot of red-hot competition behind you. Super job. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'd like to thank everyone that's been backing us. We've had a lot of bad luck. We've had a lot of good luck. With everyone sitting here in the stands tonight supporting us, everyone back in the pits, all my crew, thank you, everybody.
Donna, Karen, and Connie Thompson.
Gentlemen and ladies, start your engine.
Crash in the intersection between Charlie Reed and the number 56 of Nelson. That blocks Sizemore and gives the lead to the number 10 of Bruce Tunney. 2nd place to the number 7 of Bruce Tunney. And those guys switch positions going into turn number 1. It'll be Bill Tunney Jr. going around his brother Bruce, battling for the lead as they come out of the 2nd corner. The Tunney brothers dominate the race. Bruce and Bill running each other hard, wheel to 2 cars have crashed in the infield. The number 12 of St. John and the number 1 of Dawsey wrecked each other as the red came out, and Dawsey's car, all torn up, will charge into the pit corner. Here comes Bruce Tunney, and his brother Bill attacks but can't make it. It will be Bruce Tunney beating his brother Bill by 1.2 seconds. Number 38 of Miller. Miller drifts up the track. Botts comes down to the inside, rams Miller, and knocks him into the wall, and almost flips in the process, ripping off a rear wheel from Miller's car and bringing out the red. Number 34, Botts, ran into Miller coming out of turn number 2. Ran on top of Miller's car, ripping up the left rear, tearing off the left rear wheel and tire and brake assembly, leaving Miller's car helpless on the back. Lamb almost spins himself out. Bear takes the lead, and one of the Fosters, the 42, spins, and so does Tunney at the number 7. And Tunney looks to be out of it with a flat tire. And Foster backed into Tunney and hit him coming out of turn number 4. I guess Foster didn't like one thing or another.
Yeah, that pink car, my mirror was all pink there at the end. I did work up a sweat. It just, the car was working good. I haven't had a bad year so far, and we finally got the car working. So here I am this weekend, starting to see.
Somebody's favorite character of the Barney show. It goes nowhere. Oh no, Baby Bob got wrecked. Baby Bob got stood into the first turn wall by Amon. He slams the number 37 of Canal. They nail each other at number 1. They're still wrecking each other at turn number 2. And Johnson smashes Canal into the wall on the backstretch. Speedrome Racing is back in town. 92 of Brooks, he got nailed by the number 57 of Owens. They're still wrecking each other in turn number 2, and they put each other into the wall on the backstretch. Old-time Speedrome Racing is back in town. Away. Now it's the number 30 of Whiteman who moves up to challenge Riker as Bott makes a dramatic last lap pass and wins the race. Specs was triggered by the spinning car. Now here's an interesting confrontation out here. Now there's Jimmy Kirby in number 58 having a nice little conversation with the number 14 of Hacker. Notice that Hacker is smarter than Kirby because Hacker kept his helmet on. They're still discussing it. Well, I'll tell you what, folks, I've made this comment before and I'll make it again. If they're frustrated, it's because they got away. But now Dennis Cameron has to make the big decision as he comes to the intersection. Heavy traffic. He got smashed hard by the number 44 of Bussey. Bussey helpless in the middle of the intersection. The rest of the field coming at Bussey. And Bussey tries to get out of the way. And he gets hit at the intersection by the number 20 of John Connor. And Bussey gets going. And now Connor is strapped in the number 2. Was for a moment the Ford number 11. Now Ford is in a 10. Oh, got the crossover. Big crash and sends Charlie Reed spinning and leaves the number 10 of Bruce Tunney facing the wrong direction as Charlie Reed took a big hit and we come down to red. Thundering crash between the number 10 of Tunney and the number 4 of Charlie Reed. The indication is that Charlie Reed was too tough to get knocked out by that crash. The indication we get from the track officials is that Charlie Reed is okay.
Real good drivers and hard chargers. Can't take anything away from them. I just kind of got them in traffic and worked our advantage.
Going around the Riker car, and now underneath the Stewart machine. It's Riker, it takes Perry to the wall, takes Kirby to the wall, rather, on the backstretch. Kirby keeps on going with a torn up front of his race car. Will go red with the red number 97 of Stewart. The outside by Knively for the lead as the Gordon car. Well, trouble as Johnson got nailed by Edwards. Those are two male drivers, mind you, that are wrecking each. Number 74. Decker spins out of turn number 4 and traps 3 cars into the wall. Decker spun and nailed the number 66 of to the outside in 3. He gets 3rd place back. And now Dameron slips and spins in front of Brown. Brown almost got flipped running over Dameron and traps the number 21 of Dowden. It's a 6-car pileup coming out of turn number 2. Almost the entire field has crashed. Will come down to red. 40 of Foster's dropped back way backwards on the start of this race. No, Dawsey in trouble, hits the wall on the backstretch. Dawsey bounced the number 1 car off somebody on the backstretch and hit the stopped on the racetrack. Hatfield hits the brown car, taking the 3rd place machine out, and the number 55 of Smith has stopped in the middle of turn number 4, and now Brown is hit hard by the number 62 car head on after Brown had stopped on the track for more than a lap. That brings out the red flag. Collins, 3rd place will go to Perry, just ahead of Cooper, who hits the Knifley car, and then the number 12 crashes into him as Cooper hits Perry again after the race is over. A frustrated Perry decides to get out of his car and have a brief discussion with Cooper. But those cars were pretty much crashing each other under typically weird circumstances at the end of the race. Holding on to 3rd place. Dawsey had to slow down to keep from running into the number 74 car. That will put Dawsey nearly 1 lap. That may be leaking in the middle of the pack. I think they're looking so. Watch out, Lamb got hit by the car of Dameron, wrecking out Frost. Somehow they all keep on going. But Frost is out with a flat tire on one side as they come to lap number 12. And the intersection, Raymond got nailed by the 3-car crash. Raymond ripped up 3 cars at the intersection. And Grant pulls away. We come down to red. And this is a fuel leak on the Whiteman car. We're going to have to be careful for this one as we come down to red. Speedrome so far. On trouble as 2 cars crashed. The 65 put the 85 into the wall head on, and that put Collins 96 into the wall, and then the 65 wrecked out 3 other machines, bringing out a red flag. It's the biggest crash of the year in the Speedrome on the start of the stock heat race number 5. So, how many cars got torn up in that mess? The number 65 of John Murphy nailed the number 85 car of Chris Gooden and put him into the wall head first. Mr. Keller is unhappy. He's going to go over and have a short, impassioned discussion with Mr. 65 about how to race. The translation of what Mr. Keller said will be available in the pit board next week. Put them onto the track, minus those that caused the red flag or doomed to have caused the red flag in 1-lap pedaling. And the bounce job doesn't work. Now Dalton pulls the motor on the backstretch, and it explodes in flame. Dalton in big trouble. The engine goes up in flame out of turn number 4. Dalton comes to a halt, and the fire crew there quickly to put out the flame. Factor in this race, because a whole bunch of guys have a lot of bad luck. All at once now, Bussey out together, and now look at this, Bussey wrecked the number 1 and 4, hard out of turn number 4, rammed forward from behind, and almost smashed him into oblivion. Disadvantage to the leading. Well, trouble as Potts got into it with the number 41 of Carroll, and now Potts got hit and spun by Carroll as the number 77 Taylor started the green as Carroll tries to hold on to the position. Now he and Keller get together, wrecking Kirby, who gets plowed by 3 other cars. It's a total mess over turn number 4. It's the huge crash. So the number 58 of Kirby in a chain reaction crash got wrecked and then plowed by the number 86 of Brown, and then the 38 of Miller ran over both of them in a wild crash that refused to end. The red has come out. Jimmy Kirby's out of his car. On top of his car, disbelieving, is driver Don Miller. Away on the racetrack with active racing going on, and there are three guys out there battling among each other, throwing punches, and we're just barely getting them apart. We're continuing to race as the fight rages on the racetrack with the number 10 of Bruce Tunney now coming around Gibbs to position for second place. Connor continues to drift just a bit backward out of the fourth corner with still 61 laps left to go. The lead is in the hands of Jack Dawsey Jr., who is trying to put the entire field one lap down. This is an important race for any number of
we tried some new stuff on the car, and we was basically the only way you're going to see what it's going to do is basically go ahead and run it. And we was fortunate that a bunch of the good cars had some problems, but there were still good cars racing, so we're just happy to
championship t-shirt. Al, I'll let you describe what you're doing.
Also in the pit board this week. Again, we want to thank you for coming out to the Indianapolis Speedrome.
Loose and drop back a lane. Ahead of the McDonough, almost hits the ball on turn number 4. Sturgeon spins, takes out Moser and Mott's here in the main stretch, putting Moser's car into the wall solidly. Victory, the second place car, and now Victory gets into Spurgeon. Both of those cars out of control. They grind to a halt in turn number 4 and take each other almost to the field. Branham in 83 decides to take Baby Bop down and puts Baby Bop into the wall. And Branham is out as well. And then the number 50 car got wrecked by 96 as the Baby Bop car with an axle and a wheel missing is in the wall. Oh no, Fryman wrecked Baby Bop. Even with Allen on the backstretch of the last lap of the race. Puts a nose out in front of Allen in 3. Allen drifts to the inside and takes Keller high out of 4. They're dead even, and there's Allen spinning and hitting the wall. And getting smashed by the car of White, but he still got a qualifying position to the turn. Takes him to first place, but he has to wait up for traffic. That lets Snap get close. And Fryman got hit by Snap, who nailed McDonough, who wrecked Victory, who put the 14 car to the wall, and they're still wrecking each other. And now Botts wrecks into the number 14 car, and it's a 6-car chain reaction crash that covers half the racetrack at least. Wrecked cars strewn all over the Pat tries to fight back against the number 44 Bussey, spins in front of the rest of the field, nailed hard head on by Rick. Inside of Unruh, who almost gets into Mathis and nails Mathis, puts her into the wall in the backstretch, then hits Botts, puts Mathis into the wall a second time, and comes down and wrecks Riker. Has come to second place and has to watch out for the number 13 of LA, who got nailed hard by the number 62 of Luttrell. Luttrell had the lead and crashed out that hard and will come down to red. Luttrell had the lead of the number 62 coming out of the 4th turn, and then hit the number 13 of Alley hard coming through the intersection, bringing out the red flag. Alley looks like he's pretty much okay, just waiting for a chance to get out of his car. Luttrell, we're told, is also in good shape. Battle for the lead is 5 cars deep going to turn number 3 as the number 47 of Shackelford, who was in that lead pack, spun out of it. And now trouble as the number 55 of Smith hits the wall hard, and we've got all sorts of cars that have smashed in there. The number 55 of Smith totally missed turn number. Extends his lead as the number 97 car of Stewart hits the wall and the car explodes in flame. A fire underneath the hood of Stewart's car. All but casually he gets out of the machine as our Race officials dash over there with loaded fire extinguishers and quickly put the fire out.
The figure 8 win. I know it's my first one. Feels great. Yeah. I want to thank all my sponsors, all my team helpers. They done a hell of a
Very slow. Tunney's in big trouble coming out of the fourth corner. He gets pushed through the intersection by Forrest and wins the race. Second place to number 66 of Reidner. As Bruce Tunney has to watch out for the Reidner car. And Reidner a hard crash with the number 1 of Dawson. Reidner and the number 44 of Bussey, and Dawsey get the yellow is the draw. Now trouble is Bolton collides with number 27 car, putting Bolton's car to the wall hard at the north end of the racetrack. White and yellow flags shown simultaneously. There's the green flag, and Thompson's out of control. Niels Foster comes across the track. Foster in trouble, hits the wall. Foster and Thompson wreck each other as they come to the strike. Foster in the wall in turn number 1. The red comes out. We've lost 2 cars in the first pro stock event of the evening. Foster's out of the car. He's okay. He's asking, what was that? And he's making an interesting gesture. The last time I saw a gesture like that at a racetrack was when Alonso Jr. made his famous gesture to Emerson Fittipaldi after Fittipaldi wrecked Al and shoved him out of the way to win the Indianapolis 500. Remember, Al Armstrong gave